In this video I will try to build an RC car capable of going at least 100 km an hour with a budget of just €200. I was inspired to make this video after watching videos on YouTube where they were hunting high speed records with insanely expensive RC cars. This does look like lots of fun, but since I can't spend tons of money on trying to break any records, I set myself up to a smaller goal with a smaller budget. In the end I came up with the following rules for this challenge. To start things off, I got the TT02 chassis in a bag. It only costs $49.99 and it includes a complete TT02 chassis, but without the electronics, wheels and body shell. I think this is a great deal and probably the only car cheap enough to attempt this challenge. These complete wheels by Epsima cost me $13.99 and should be perfect for this challenge. Just some good value tires, nothing special here. For the body I went with the cheapest option I could find. This RX-7 body cost me just $9.99. It was that cheap because it has some imperfections as well as the print not being aligned perfectly. But this isn't an issue for this project and it should do its job just fine. What I didn't know was that neither the TT02 kit nor the RX-7 body came with body clips, so I had to spend $2.99 to get some extra. And with that I had a rolling chassis and could turn my attention to the electronics. Here I basically just got the cheapest stuff I could find. For the radio I choose this rebranded FlySky G4P for just $26.57. It ticks all the boxes and for the price I think it is a real steal. For the servo I got this no-name product for just $7.99. It isn't the fastest, but with metal gears it should survive the speeds I'm planning to reach with this car. Last but not least, probably the most important component, the power system. This no-name motor and ESC combo only cost me $44.99 shipped to my door. According to its instructions it is 3S capable, and with the 3900 kV motor I should definitively have enough speed for reaching 100 km per hour. Now at this point I do have a running car, but to be honest we are still far from reaching 100 km an hour. Luckily I have only spent $156.51 up to this point, and so there is still some budget left for upgrades. In order to reduce the friction in the drivetrain I got a set of bearings for $9.99. This should make it a lot easier for the motor to reach the needed high RPMs. Even more importantly, I needed to change the gear ratio of the TT02. This is where the Yeah Racing mount for $9.99 as well as the Yeah Racing spur gear mount for $8.99 come in. In combination, these two parts allow me to run basically any gear ratio that I want in the TT02. And because I want to go as fast as possible, I chose the largest pinion gear that would fit, namely a 52-tooth pinion by Aeromax, as well as the smallest spur gear I could find, which was a Yeah Racing 74-tooth gear. All of this adds up to a total cost of €198.46, so I think it's fair to say that I made the most of my budget. Since I only bought stuff from vendors inside of Germany, I didn't have to spend any money on import duty, and through some clever shopping I also didn't have to spend any money on shipping. And with that the build is finished. Now the only thing left to do is throw in a battery and hope for the best. After seeing the wheel speed this car is reaching at home, I'm not so worried about the car being underpowered anymore. In order to measure the speed I used this old GPS watch, since I won't spend €100 on a GPS tracker only to just use it once. As for the location, I found this unused old military landing strip near my hometown. Now, since it is currently winter and a bit cold, I won't be able to reach the max speed this car is capable of, since LiPo batteries work better when it's hotter. After the first few turns it became immediately clear that the car's handling was way too unstable and twitchy, but still I gave it full throttle in hopes to maybe get lucky, when I suddenly completely lost control of the car and this happened. After sending my car into the shadow realm, it was time to assess the damage. The body had some tears which I could easily fix with some tape and a little bit of trimming. The rear wheel hubs had also been broken. Since I didn't see any way I could get this car to 100 km an hour without some further tuning, I decided to accept the defeat and exceed the €200 budget. So I ordered some replacement parts. These Year Racing hubs for $17.99 have 3-degree toe-in at the rear. This basically means that the rear wheels are pointing slightly inwards, which will help with the stability issues. To make the front more stable, you want to achieve more toe out. I achieved this with these adjustable steering arms for $9.99. So all in all, I didn't spend too much extra. And with these changes, I was pretty sure to hit my goal of reaching 100 Ks. Once the weather allowed it, I was back on the landing strip. It was the first time in months where it was dry and warm enough for me to make any attempts on breaking my record. After I drove around for a few seconds, it became immediately clear that the car was still way too unstable for me to break any records. It must have been because the original tires were pretty beat up after all the crashing. Luckily, I had anticipated that and brought some fresh foam rubber tires with me. With those installs, the difference was like night and day, and so after driving around for a while, I finally got this run.
Nice! Alter! Felix. Geil!
And with that, I had finally ended up barely reaching 100 kilometers an hour. And to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed that I couldn't do it for 200 euros. But then on the other hand, reaching 100 Ks proved to be far more challenging than I had anticipated. I also don't think that I have reached the max speed this car is capable of, since it was still winter when I did my speedrun and it was quite cold. Also, the landing strip where I had been was quite busy, which prevented me from giving it a full send attempt. But all in all, I'm happy with this car and I'm sure I will come back to this project in the future.